Hello, Vilaksha Bhaiya. Uh,
Hello.
I'm recording this for SPG uh, interview I have to take for GP2. So you have experience for so much years, like 6 years. So I think your experience will help me to uh, explore more things and learn from your experience. So we start from our questions. So my first question is, as a tech lead, you are explaining your team's work to a non-technical manager or stakeholder. Do you have a structured approach, or does it depend on movement? And has the translation ever actually cost you something, a project, trust, or like a decision that went the wrong way or something?
It's like, did you mean the translation from technical to non-technical terms or vice versa?
Yeah, like stakeholders are not technical persons.
Yeah. So, I generally didn't follow a very proper structured approach, but there will be a very kind of a loose structure, or you can say the kind of guidelines kind of thing, like a very loose structure, where what I do is sometimes I didn't so in our team when we are doing some project, so we didn't explain what we are working on the project, generally the technical aspects of the project, like the coding part or the modules we are working on or how we broke the modules. We don't explain like that. First we explain the stakeholders, so what is the result of this module, or what we have developed, what we have engineered, so what is will be the result of this, what will be the business impact of that. So uh, that is like we are translating into their language, the stakeholders language. We are not providing them the technical researches and technical complexity with technical jargons, because they don't understand that. And if you bombard stakeholders with the technical jargons, they might confuse that to whether you are working or not in the simple terms,
Yeah,
or like they might misguide, like is this a useful module, or do we have the product which we are engineered is useful or not, is really contributing to value or not. So what we generally do, we try to provide first of all the measurable impacts or KPIs, which can directly give them a metrics, like how much we are onto the track or what value we are providing them, the measurable impact of the value in terms of business language.
yeah,
Then if they got into more nuances, like how we are developing the things, then rather than directly going to the technical jargons or explaining the technical complexities of the modules, we try to explain them with the analogies which we can follow along.
uh, like
So for example, rather than doing that, okay, the brake rotor, so we are analyzing the heating and cooling cycles of that with the help of the regex model or stats model. What we are do, we will giving them the analogy and like how it is performing in the daily life. So rather than putting this into the heating and cooling cycles, we can put it like that, like when you apply the brake, when you are driving in car, when you are apply the brake, what it will do, when you are pushing the brake it will generate a heat, and when you are pulling back there in the meantime it will cool down that thing. So breaking down that complex technical problem into some analogies, real world examples, or some analogies will help us to uh,
make them
convey our,
understand.
yeah, convey the like doing the communication in the right way, uh, do them understand in a non-technical way. So yeah, it's not a very highly structured format, but yeah, loose structure, like doing something with analogies, explaining the things with analogies, using non-technical language as maximum as possible, and measuring the KPIs or the value in the measurable format in the business language. That is help in communication with the non-technical stakeholders.
So like using analogies and real world examples, it helps them.
Yes.
Uh, so my next question is, have you seen a technically strong person on your team lose credibility simply because they couldn't communicate the value of their work. And how did you handle that as their lead?
uh, Actually, like this is the part, like generally engineers are very, it's there are the thing, like engineer is very into the like kind of a nerdy stuffs and can into the complexities, like technical complexity. And when if you are in the meetings and explaining the demos or concepts, they might go into the technicalities and explaining those into the technical terms. So yeah, they are technically in very strong and capable. Why the leaders know that? Because they've been through that path.
Yeah,
But when you see from the business point of view, business perspective, managers or the higher management doesn't know those technicalities, and they don't want to know those technicalities in detail. They
yeah,
want the business impact, like how we are creating the value with that product or service which we are designing. So yeah, this is a very common pattern where like an engineer might go into the very technicalities and not directly or explaining with the analogies. So it is like also a very right opportunity to mentor the engineers. So like the new engineers which is coming in the industry, they do this mistake a lot. That's
yeah.
where actually that's where the technical leader comes into the place, where basically what is the technical leader do is it is like a bridge between the technical and the leadership. So between these two pillars, it will act as a bridge, where he knows the part of the technical abilities, but technical skills, but he's not doing the technical module work all day. He's not into his day job, but he's also in connect with the leadership, so to connect and act as a bridge between them. Generally, like doing more practical sessions on that, having workshops in the companies, like how
Communication.
to manage the non-technical stakeholders and how to communicate with the non-technical. There are the structured workshops and sessions handled in itself a team, where we can do tech talks or the weekly tech talks. By this, with the help of these things, we try to sort this problem out, where when you tell like a high capabilities engineers, they can technically hide the complexities, and they can only showcase like what is there, and they can easily communicate the thing to the non-technical stakeholders. So
So
yeah, training
sometimes,
part is there.
like technically strong people have to go through that process, like training, so they can communicate well.
Definitely, they have to be like okay. So what happens is when if you see the person who has experience, so when you come out of the fresher, so fresher only know the college part. So he's been doing the courses, he's been doing internship parts and all, and then when you come into the picture, then no one directly handles the clients. Okay, so the interns, then GTs or engineer trainees, then they become engineer. Till engineer part, generally there is a very less client handling part or exposure to the client skills. That's why um, they didn't possess those skills to bridge the gap between the technicalities and the non-technicalities, and
Yeah,
communicate the technical part clearly to those who doesn't know the technical parts. So
yeah.
that's where training helps in, and with the right kind of exposure and the right kind of mentorship only, it can we can
Make
we
it
like
better with time. Yeah,
make it better. Yes, yes, yes. And like weekly tech talks generally help. So I used to do this in the team. We have introduced this like a tech talks kind of thing, where in on the weekly basis we try to take one technical term from our, maybe it's from the mechanical engineer side, civil engineer, either it will be of business part, it will be of technical part, and break it down, and with the help of analogies we communicate it into the to the non-technical stakeholders, to our clients. So
yeah.
in that way, simulating that in the tech talks or the learning section will help engineers to get possess these skills too.
Uh, they can explain better.
They can explain it in a very better manner.
Yeah. So my next question is, when someone on your team brings an unconventional idea, does your organization actually give them space to try and fail, or does it get filtered out early? Like they get a chance or not for a new idea?
Okay. So if you say did they get a chance, so most likely yeah, because we are in the R&D field, and science is basically works on the experiments only. So if we won't give them a chance, so new ideas, innovation won't happen easily. But the main thing is whether we are giving it a chance, or like how we are allocating the resources to them. It won't be like this, like okay, you have come up with some idea and I am allocated high resources to you. It won't be like this. It will,
Yeah,
what we can think of is, okay, you have come up with idea, start with some prototype or some smallest module which can prove your idea can run into the picture. So for example, if I take one project or something like that, so okay, if I have to build some 3D, so I have worked on one project. If I show you, there is a, the project is like on the metal slit. So there is a metal slit, and we have to find the corrosion with the help of computer vision. So what is the main idea of this is, like in the car parts or any other materialistic part, material metal part, there is a corrosion. Okay, and with the help of sensor, if we can analyze that corrosion, we can successfully do, like we don't need a manual guesses and manual labor to do that part. So we can
yeah,
automate this. So this is the idea, but directly allocating too much resources and directly go on the metal machinery parts to analyze the corrosion, that won't be a good idea. So how we can make that an environment is like, so what we do, we will do that in the experiment kind of thing. But we will corrode some metal slits. So we have taken some samples, corrode that metal slits, and then based on that corrosion, we will detect whether it is whether our idea is getting like it is really creating the value or not. So it's
uh,
like in the software terms, if I say we generally create a prototypes,
yeah,
or we generate a proof of concepts ideas. So that is the thing, like if we make a prototype, it is working fine, then we can make it to the production level, or make more testing and all to
mm,
that. So that is how we validate the idea, and if that is the correct idea, and if it really sees that okay, this idea might contribute to the business, or might make more business, then surely it is like it will go forward with a structured approach. Basically, since Genpact is like an MNC, so there are many approval systems and departments where the idea
yeah.
should go through. And in the company there are many hackathons, ideathons are will run, where they can showcase their idea. So yeah, and the unconventional ideas are welcome, but it is developed in the very sandbox kind of environment.
And also it depends on how trusted or like technically strong the person is. Like a new fresher
Definitely.
can't get big sandbox for like 1
Definitely.
year. Yeah,
That is why if you are coming with some unconventional idea, what we'll do, we will try to make the smallest module possible with that idea to validate that idea.
yeah,
So what is will be the smallest module which we can go through with our resources to validate that idea? Because when any idea comes into the picture, the working, the time, efforts, and all like these are the monetary. If you convert it into the monetary, then the thing is we have to allocate some resources to that idea. So whether it is useful or not it depends on the credibility, how the person is the one bringing the idea is like. Because sometimes for a high credible person, so they have that history, like okay, they have presented many ideas which created the value, so definitely
yeah.
there is some bias. Although I would say there is not much bias in the company, but there will be a some bias that okay, if this idea, the credibility of that person, that
Person.
engineer will definitely speaks in that.
So thank you, Abhilakshi Bhaiya. That was thank you for giving your time. And
Welcome, it's
we
my pleasure to be on. your interview panel, and hope I'll be able to contribute to you and to your project in a good manner.
Yeah, you surely do.
Yeah.
Can I stop the recording now?
Yes, yes, definitely.